Hi, today let's take a look at the ultra-thin MIDI controller, the Xkey Air 37 from ESI. Not only does it feature Bluetooth, it also features a very different kind of keybed, which is more like the spacebar key of a computer keyboard. So you can see how thin this keyboard is. It's very lightweight, it's made of aluminium, anoxide aluminium, and as I said, it also has Bluetooth. To be honest, I was a bit skeptical to see how Bluetooth MIDI works, because in the past it's been quite a lot of delay when working with Bluetooth, but I feel that this keyboard actually has a very nice response. And you can hear that aftertouch when I press down the keys, a little bit hard like that. And my impression of playing the Xkey Air, of course, since it's like spacebar keys, you can even hear the click from these different buttons, compared to playing, you heard me say there, buttons, compared to playing a real keybed with like piano keys. But they're quite responsive to velocity. You can play very softly and with more heavy dynamics. If you're all new to MIDI keyboards, you're probably gonna wonder, what is Polyphonic aftertouch? A typical MIDI controller responds to the velocity, how hard you play or how hard you hit the keys. But aftertouch is triggered after you press down the key, and then you have this little space after the initial touch. So you can press down further down into the keys to trigger the aftertouch. And polyphonic aftertouch just means that we can press multiple keys and have different pressures on the different keys. So we can have a harder pressure on the lower key, while the lighter aftertouch on a higher key. But it's really nice for this sound. So this is a synth sound that I made in Serum 2, and it responds to polyphonic aftertouch. So we can trigger the sound by just playing lightly on the keys, and then lean into the sound by pressing down into the aftertouch, which makes the sound grow in dynamics. So you can also use it as an effect like that. Which is really cool. Right, so in this demo you can see that I don't have the Xkey Air hooked up via any cables, so we are using the Bluetooth functionality of the Xkey Air. Okay, so next up, let's check out how we set up the Xkey Air 37 via Bluetooth to our computer, my MacBook Pro, and we're also gonna see the latency that we get when we're using Bluetooth. Okay, so when you first get your Xkey Air 37 or the 25 key edition, you need to hook it up via the bundled USB-C cable in order to charge the internal battery of the Xkey Air. And after that, it's just a matter of powering the device, and you're gonna see this blue light blink when it's not hooked up via Bluetooth to your computer. Right, so after powering on the Xkey Air, we're gonna go into the Launchpad of Mac OS X and find the Audio MIDI Setup application, and go to the tabs, select Window, Show MIDI Studio. In the MIDI Studio, we'll go to the top right corner of the application and select this Bluetooth icon. And there we're gonna see any type of Bluetooth keyboards. And you're just gonna press connect here to make the connection, and we can see it light up here in the MIDI Studio. And as I talked about previously in many videos, this is a great place to find out if your MIDI gear is really found by your OS. So now we know that the Xkey Air works with our computer, and we can go back into something like Logic Pro and fire up a drum kit. Maybe press the octave down button here, and we can play some drums. Okay, so let's see how tight this is if we record against a click, because it's a really great way to find out if there's too much latency in the Bluetooth signal. Okay, so we're gonna hit record and we're gonna see how tight I can play against the metronome. Oops, should be a symbol at the end, but anyhow. So let's zoom in there and see how tight the MIDI is. Actually, it looks pretty damn good. You can see some of these hits are even a little bit early, while some are a little bit late, but that's my playing timing. So that's actually pretty good. And yeah, some of my kicks here were a little bit early. I'm a drummer myself, so definitely felt very tight. Yeah, so Bluetooth MIDI is obviously going to be a lot tighter than the Bluetooth audio, because there's a lot less data that needs to travel in the air with Bluetooth MIDI. So let's try playing something with a different instrument. Maybe try a piano with this very sleek computer keyboard Keybed. So let's just try the basic songwriter piano of Logic Pro. Quite different feeling compared to playing your regular keyboard, but it actually works. But you're obviously not gonna have like a sustain pedal, but there is a sustain button here. Now's a good time to talk about the buttons that you have on the side of the Xkey Air. And these are made of rubber, so don't expect any other feeling than regular rubber. So you have octave plus, octave minus, you have a modulation button that's pressure sensitive. So the harder you press, the higher you're gonna send the modulation value. And below that we have the pitch bend plus, pitch bend minus, and also a sustain. So that's where you're gonna press if you want to sustain the notes. So if I press a few notes, let's try something lower. We can hold down the sustain pedal. Okay, so that's a quick look into the Xkey Air 37. And as I mentioned, there's also a 25 key version. And yeah, so while I like playing this keyboard, don't expect it to be like your regular keyboards. And I'll probably not play more elaborate piano pieces on this type of keyboard, because it is weird to play these spacebar-like keys. But as you can see, you can definitely get away with playing basic melodies and playing any type of synth sounds or leads, plucks, pads, basses, drums. It's all gonna work pretty well on this keyboard. So it's really great to have this kind of portable and Bluetooth supported keyboard. For those type of situations where you need a clean desk or just need to be portable, maybe for your hammock jams. Right, so if you have any type of questions or comments on the Xkey Air 37, let me know here in the comments. Thanks for watching today, don't forget to subscribe, and if you like my videos here on YouTube, consider becoming a Patreon and join our Patreon community at patreon.com/Gelhain. See you in the next video. Bye!